In today's episode, we're tackling a challenge that costs retailers millions of dollars every year: staff turnover. Why are so many employees walking out the door, and what can be done about stopping that revolving door? Kia ora, I'm Carolyn Young, Chief Executive at Retail NZ, and today I'm joined by Sussan Ockwell, who's the Director at the Induction Company. Kia ora, Sussan, and welcome.
Hey, kia ora, and thank you so much for having me here. Delighted to be here.
Oh, look, fantastic. I guess if we start at the beginning, what can you tell us about industry turnover in retail?
Yeah, so New Zealand as a whole has always had pretty well consistently turnover of around 20%, and actually went to 21% last year in the 2024 survey done by Lawson Williams. So they do a survey every year. 25 isn't out yet, and last year we hit 21.4%. That's actually very similar across the world, so globally. Now, however, for retail generally goes a lot higher than that and can absolutely go up to 60%. It's quite a big range. I was speaking to one retailer earlier this week, a manufacturing retailer with multi-outlets. They were actually under 10%,
Wow.
which I found quite remarkable because just for normal companies,
Mm.
not retail, normal companies to get to 10% is quite spectacular. And it's not because they were just regional, provincial either. So that's quite impressive. So that gives you an idea of the range, 10% to 60%. But thinking average turnover should be around 20, 21%. So retailers suffer a lot more because of the nature of your business. You've got part-timers, you've got a whole bunch of seasonals, you've got your weekend workers, and you've also got transitional workers. So completely understandable that you guys have higher
Mm.
turnover than the sort of New Zealand wide-ish at about 21%.
What are those key reasons why people are leaving?
Each year, the survey breaks it down into voluntary turnover and involuntary turnover. Now, we've been in quite weird times
Mm.
lately. And so voluntary turnover has gone right down because of the insecurity, people holding on
Yes.
to their jobs and just trying to keep some paycheck because it's pretty hard in other
Yeah.
places to get jobs. Whereas involuntary turnover has really massively
Right.
increased, like 79% type increase. Obviously, we know that's because of economic environment. But again, there's still that higher number of voluntary within the first 12 months.
The 90-day trial period, that got extended out by the government so that all businesses can now participate in that 90-day trial period. How does that fit in with that turnover piece? What role does that play?
I have quite a strong perspective on this, I suppose.
Mm.
In the past, it was, and oh, well, now that we all have this 90-day clause where no fault, no harm, you can give them 1 week notice and somebody can leave. It means you can take a chance on somebody. However, rather than just use that, oh, it's 90 days, I don't think you cut it, goodbye. What I'm sort of suggesting is it's the employer's responsibility to help people get to 90 days successfully rather than the sink swim thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're really busy, can you just get on with it, and oh, they didn't really quite cut it.
Mm.
From an employer's perspective, what did you do, what did you put in place to help them achieve success in that 90 days? And that really comes back to how well did you onboard, induct, and train to help them be successful and not just to let them fail. So I just want to twist that around and go, as retailers, as employers, what are you actually doing to help your people succeed? Because yes, it's easier now to not let them reach 90 days or go, hey, 90 days, I'm sorry, it didn't cut it. But I think as employers, we have to take a big deal of responsibility for that and not just use it as an out clause.
Absolutely. When you recruit someone, you really want to see them succeed and to thrive. And a business, it costs a lot of money and time and effort to go through the recruitment process, to get someone onboarded and to start them training. So, thinking about the 90
Yeah.
days as something that's a last resort rather than as a first resort, and knowing that you've invested a lot of time and effort to get to that point, it's really critical to get people successfully through that 90 days, isn't it? And not think about it as something that is a ability, to get rid of someone, for example.
Yeah, but if you just think about the time and effort of whether you have to re-advertise, even if that's a sign in your door, and then you have to talk to people, and then you're selecting, and then you're checking, and then you're onboarding, and you might have to wait for them. Then you're re-onboarding, you're re-inducting, you're retraining, but all of that has an impact on your team's morale, the momentum, the productivity, and also your customer service and sales levels, because they are still making errors or figuring out their way. The cost of turnover, particularly early turnover, is huge.
Yeah. And so they're the key things, I guess, that retailers could do better. Is there anything else that retailers should focus on in terms of, that induction process? What are the tools that you have an induction app that would help a retailer manage that process better to get successful outcomes?
Yeah, but given that you're in retail and there is definitely higher turnover, you really need to make sure that the whole, well, it's systemized, because having it systemized gives you efficiency. It creates, done well, it creates much higher engagement, which creates more retention, higher productivity, and consistency in the way you do things. So that's where we see systemization is really, really key, just for all of those aspects. And we tend to do that through systemizing and digitizing. So right from employment agreements, where that's digitized and using e-signing and things like that, through all of the forms and paperwork that people need to do, the extra sort of like tasks and checklists, and right through induction and training, through to 90 days with the check-ins. And Induction app, actually, the part of the platform, is tracking their engagement as well. So you can see trends and patterns, or catch things on the way through. So it really helps retailers make this efficient, but make it effective by systemizing. So yeah, that's really the whole point of the Induction app.
It's
Yeah.
such a great idea and fantastic tool that retailers can use to ensure that you've got a efficient business, that you can focus on the process of selling your goods, but know in the background that you're tracking through how your staff are going. You've got a really
Yeah.
systemized way to make sure that you took all those boxes. It's
And
a
knocking off compliance as well, too, just saying, because that's another big reason for some people.
Yeah, which is really important. Look,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today, Susan. It's been such a pleasure to speak to you about how retailers can improve their staff onboarding experience to minimize team turnover, because we know it's such a cost. I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to visit our partner page at retail.kiwi, or go to the inductionapp.co to find out more about our exclusive Induction app member offering. This was part of our Empowering Retail series, your go-to resource for short, actionable insights designed to take your retail business to the next level. Watch out for other episodes and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, ka kite anō. Bye for now.
For now.